Episode 1. Night Forms.
Captain Copperfield, I didn't expect you to show up in person on this one.
Explain to me what I'm looking at here, Detective.
The victims, there are 4 of them, were found dead in this room. The current cause of death is uncertain, but their bodies seem to be mangled in post-mortem.
Any blood on the scene?
No, Captain. No stab marks, gunshot wounds, there aren't even any lacerations.
Are there any signs of a struggle?
That's the strangest part, no. There are no windows in this room. The door's locked from the inside and there's no evidence of a forced entry. It's like they all came in here and dropped dead just like that.
Doesn't seem so strange to me. It's a classic murder-suicide, death by poisoning, that's all there is to it.
Captain, with all due respect, considering who these priests were, what they were doing, isn't it a little too soon to just declare it that? Don't you think there might be something, involved?
Oh, I recognise you now. You're Webster, right? Katherine Webster. The one who keeps bringing up all that magic stuff.
Yes, that's me. But it's not exactly unreasonable to think something like that here.
Look, Detective, when you've done this for as long as I have, you get an understanding of the reasonable explanations. No stab wounds, check for strangling. No lacerations, check for poison.
I don't think this was a poisoning. It can't have been a poisoning.
What makes you say that?
Because,
Exactly. Look, we'll run a toxicology report, and if nothing comes back, then you can start bringing in wizards or whatever theories you have.
Of course, if your theory is incorrect. Thank you, Captain. You won't regret it.
I feel like I regret it already.
You were listening in, weren't you?
I always am.
Then you have an idea of what we're dealing with?
More or less.
Do you have any thoughts so far?
I have my theories.
We can't investigate right away. They want to look into this the old way first.
I can be patient.
Should we meet now, to at least discuss this, figure out a course of action?
I'll be in touch, Kat.
Reports in, no poison.
Is that so?
Yep, they didn't find anything in their bloodstream. We'll accept a bit of rum, but even then, they proved that wasn't tainted or anything.
Rum? I thought priests only drank wine.
That's besides the point, sir. The point is that the priests weren't poisoned, and you know what that means.
Time to break out the spell book.
It doesn't work like that. There's someone else we need, outside of the fort.
Wait a minute. You've been getting civilians involved in crimes this big.
Trust me on this, sir. She's sort of an expert in all this. I wouldn't have been able to work out any of this magic stuff without her.
You promise she's good at this? I'm not bringing in someone that's going to compromise the case.
She's the best there is.
Alright then, we're off to see the witch, I guess.
Just don't call her that to her face, sir. She hates that word.
This is where they live. It doesn't exactly scream reputable consultant.
Keep it down, Captain. She'll hear you. I think she has a deal with the landlady. She lets her skip the rent and she helps her out with some odd jobs.
Well, with the state of this place, I wouldn't expect anyone to pay to live here.
Veronica, you home?
Door's unlocked.
Veronica, it's me. Where are you?
Ah, Katherine. How nice of you to visit. Who's the bloke?
Veronica, this is Captain Harry Copperfield. Captain, this is my consultant, Veronica Lorde.
So this is the guy whose cases I keep solving, eh?
Detective, you can't be serious about this girl. Look at the state of her.
Settle down, you two. Let's just remember while we're here, shall we?
Fair enough, Kat. Take a seat, you. Ignore the mess. Now why don't you tell me about this case?
Didn't Detective Webster tell you the details?
I've got the gist of it. I just want to be sure you're up to speed with it.
What are you implying?
Captain, please.
All right, then. We've got 4 dead bodies in the same place. 4 priests from that church. You know, that one on the edge of the city?
The Church of the Fading Moon, yeah, I'm familiar with their work.
Well, the priests were all locked in a sealed room in the church last night, and when the room was opened, they were all dead. Aside from a few broken bones on some, there's no signs of what killed them at all.
Right, and you suspect something in my field of expertise might be involved?
That's what we were thinking.
What was she's thinking?
Well, I can tell you that they were doing a ritual that night, but that's all I can say right now. If you want me to do my stuff, I'll need a few things.
And that would be...
Just a few bits and pieces to make this trick work. Something from the room, something a victim had on them, and part of their body.
Okay, I've got what she asked for.
Oh really? What did you go for?
Well, I got a rosary off one of the priests, and then this.
Oh, let's see. A fingernail. That's what you chose, Captain.
Lorde didn't say what part of the body she needed, and I'm not chopping off a priest's finger for that girl.
Still, a fingernail. You know Veronica's going to make fun of you for that, right?
Why should I care what she thinks?
I know she seems eccentric, but she knows what she's talking about, Captain. You remember the Lloyd family case, right?
The one with the hangings? Yeah, nasty stuff. What about it?
Well, it was Veronica who solved it. She has this way of reaching into minds, you see. She was able to use that to piece together the scene and find out there's a possession involved.
A possession? That wasn't mentioned in the report.
The judge struck it from the record, passed it off as a simple murder, but there was a demon in that house.
Ah, I see. And you think she'll be able to do something similar with a rosary, a fingernail, and, well, whatever you've got?
A candlestick. Well, yeah, that's what I was hoping. There's a ritual involved in it, but if this is all she says she needs, that's all she needs.
Seems a little simple, doesn't it? Speaking of rituals, these fading moon people were doing one of their own, right? You know anything more about that?
You're probably better off asking Veronica. I know about the same as everyone else. I will say this though, if they need a sealed room to do it in, I doubt it can be any good. Veronica, we have the stuff you asked for.
Well, isn't that perfect? You can lay it on the table there. Is that a fingernail? I'm guessing that was you.
I wasn't going to give a priest's arm to someone like you. Is that whiskey?
Not for drinking. Not yet, at least. Don't you worry. Anyway, I can still make use of all this. Just put it on the table. All right, then. So first we take these artifacts and put them in the centre here. Then we surround them with this powder, a little recipe of my own, and then...
A knife! Veronica, what the hell are you doing?
a drop of blood to bring myself in. Now, just a little whiskey to finish it off.
Well, at least she isn't drinking it.
And finally, the flame. Now that we're all set up, it's time for the main event. With these flames, I weld my mind to this departed body and soul, and with these relics, I bind myself to their final resting place. I see it now, the ritual room. I'm among them, the priests, my peers. We're solemn. We know what we must do and begin our prayers. But that's when... Ah!
Why, hello there, Veronica. So glad you could join me. I take it you enjoyed that little preview. You seem a little lost for words there. Lucky for you, I know the way you think. Yes, I am the one you're looking for.
Why would you?
But why should you care about that? Forget about the church. All this playing detective stuff, it's a waste of your talents.
No.
You're just a rat running around not realizing you're stuck in a cage. And I'm going to break you out.
Ah!
Veronica, is everything alright?
Perfectly fine, Kat. Sorry for the fright.
Did you see anything? Anything useful?
Afraid not. I saw the priests, same as you, but the vision was too hazy.
back to square one then.
It's fine. The case is still fresh and we still have time to try different methods. Veronica, is there anything else you could try if we took this to the scene?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not out of tricks yet, Kat.
Ah, you didn't close off our connection. Very interesting. It looks like we're going to have a lot of fun together, Veronica. Until then, I'll be in touch.
Uncaged Rat is a Final Moon production. Written, directed, produced and edited by Joseph Parks. Starring Andeliyaah Plet as Veronica Lorde, Erin Hardy as Katherine Webster, Fairbrother-Browne as Harry Copperfield, and Jacob Lowe as the demon Nemesis. Theme music by Katherine Erin. Additional music and sound effects sourced from freesound.org and BBC Sound Effects.